Good morning again. How many of you came down from Broward? One, two.
The late people.
Okay. A few. Okay, on the way down there is a billboard. I forget the name of the identity company. It is Identity Guard or something like that. The number, do we know what the number is on the billboard? 13 million. So everyone, please rise for a moment. By the way, my background, I actually teach college, so class participation, let's rise. Okay, so back when we were in grade school, and we were not exactly as personally developed as we are now, we would tell people off visually, right? With an erect finger, the middle one. So everyone, erect finger and thumb. And come on, everyone, let's go. Middle finger, come on. Every 2 seconds.
Yeah, we're gonna start singing. That's
Okay, stop. Thank you.
Turn on the radio.
So now
Yeah, I know. We missed our dancing
to the
this
dancing?
morning.
And now everyone, repeat after me. I'm not a victim yet.
Yes.
And maybe not ever. Actually, it's not a question of if, but when, really, and you'll see why in a moment. Now, if we open up, well, reason I brought this in here, how many of us shred our documents? That's a good practice. Here's the question. Do we see this first page? How do you shred a database? You can't? No? Okay. Just checking. So with Chase, wow. What was the latest one? With, just yesterday.
Home Depot.
Home Depot, Dropbox, Staples, sure. Oh yeah, that one got Social Security as well, didn't it? We'll get into that in a moment. So here's the thing, we're not safe, forget it. If you look at the number above Paris Hilton, oh yeah, why is Paris Hilton not in first lately? Well, this was from her cell phone. Not gonna go into why, but whatever. Her phone was hacked. Thank you. Exactly. Big deal. An heiress gets her cell phone hacked. Well, here's the question. By the way, how many of us don't have cell phones? No takers? Okay. Before you get your cell phone, what 9-digit piece of information do you always have to give up?
Social Security.
Oh, wow. Really?
For what?
Cell phone.
Yeah, Social Security.
Well, foreigners, yeah.
Foreigners don't count.
Bienvenido a nuestro país. Anyway, so yeah, so here's the thing. On our cell phones, what do we have so we can get our contacts very easily? We have our phone books, don't we? And guess what? Do they get their cell phones? What do they also have to give up? Socials. We're all interconnected. It's all out there. And if you look at the numbers, what's the number up there? 900 million plus. So statistically, in a country where we have around 300 million, that's all of us 3 times over. Now, it would be a horrible thing for me to be up here. Now, by the way, you can put your hands back, take your hands out of your pocket, take your hands out of your purse. I'm not here for your money. I'm not here for any sales. I'm here just simply as a subject area expert to educate you on the matter. Because here's the thing. The commercials that we've seen out there that talk about the financial aspect of identity theft, that's nice. That's the part of the iceberg that we do see. If we look down on the 3rd page, 72% of the iceberg that can sink us, and in the one in the middle one, quite literally, permanently, medical, is not really addressed by the services that are out there. Why? Because, as you'll read later on, we're not going to go through the whole thing. It puts those companies that advertise the protection in a liability position. The upshot of it, though, is, well, some stories really quickly. We had actually a lady up in Chicago, this was on MSNBC, applied for a job at Target. Yes. When she went to check on whether she was hired or not, they said, we can't hire you. Well, why not? Because you already work here. And it turned out that not only there, but also 37 other places of business had her reporting income using her social, so not her, obviously. And yet, so that was a bit of a thorny issue. Now here's the thing. The companies pay withholding, that's a good thing. What do you do when the IRS comes knocking on your door and you have not filed taxes for all 37 jobs that you, in all those different states? So, 3 points that we want you, don't bother writing them down there. In here, you want to know what's on your credit file, first of all. You also want to have access, a restoration program in place. And as in the case of this lady from Chicago, you want to have access to counsel that can help you. Because here's the thing, by the way. Michael, you work you have at the South Beach Spa medical clinic as well, right?
Yes.
Doctors have specialties, yes? Lawyers do too. And with identity theft, because it goes across all areas of law and jurisdictions, you want to have access to counsel pretty much nationally, and in some cases internationally. So you want to have that sort of resource at your beck and call. Now, how are we doing on time? So,
Valerie, are you keeping time?
Valerie, what are we doing?
Keeping time?
Okay, so,
Couple minutes?
okay, we're enjoying ourselves.
It's been 30
So-
seconds?
Okay, so the upshot is that, well, so by the way, with the medical part, why is that permanent? Well, this ties in with Social Security. With the immigrants, let's say you've got a team of immigrants A who are showing up at a construction site, because we all know that the construction sites, they employ lots of immigrants, yes? An immigrant who's not here exactly legally goes through an ID every 4 to 6 weeks before the ID gets, oh, there's something up with this ID. You have to prove that you're you, and they're not. They honestly want to work, and they need your 9 digits to be working here. So it's legitimate, and yet here's the thing: they're also getting medical treatment, and they might be nice and say I'm Wendy Unger, even though they look like Juan Estrada. And oh, by the way, HIPAA, because of the privacy part of that act, you can't say boo if Jose Estrada shows up as Wendy Unger. So he might say I'm Wendy Unger. He might make himself look pretty like Wendy Unger. When his blood type does not match Wendy Unger's, now Wendy Unger has to go, God forbid, if you go in for an emergency treatment of some sort and you have to get blood work done, or actually get a transfusion, you have 2 blood types on the same chart. At best case scenario, that's going to delay treatment. At worst, they will administer the wrong blood type, and what happens then? Sorry, Wendy. It's been nice. So that's the permanent side of identity theft, which we don't want to deal with, and yet it is helpful to have something out there that can help you. Oh, by the way, another reason why it's helpful to have access to counsel is the only way you can re-alter your record to show that you only have 1 blood type on there. Who do you have to hire?
Legal show.
I'm not selling here, thank you though. So it helps. Now, the cost of businesses. This is towards the end. And here's why we're really here. If you know anyone who has employees, if you know anyone who has a business, it's very important for them to have measures in place to show that to prove that they have an affirmative defense, that they've taken steps to mitigate damages, and so forth. Because, well, when an employee has an identity theft issue, if they're there on the job, they're not really there because they've got all these bill collectors calling them at best and at worst. In the case of Kevin Warner, who was changing spark plugs up in Gainesville when the cop got shot over, I think it was Doral, and they showed his driver's license on the news. He's not a person of interest. This is the guy. He was in Gainesville. There were issues with his driver's license for months. He'd been calling the DV. Oh, it's not our problem. So you want to have something in place to show that you've covered bases, and also that to protect your employees so they can be focused on. Oh, good to know. Okay, so wrapping up. So really quickly, you can go through it on your own. That's your homework class. Thank you. And there's lots of reasons for having access to counsel, access to identity theft services for employees. So that's what we're looking for. So I'm very happy that I'm following City National Bank because they are one of our newer employee benefit groups. And I believe this particular place of business, if you will, the chamber, is looking into it as well. And, oh, by the way, some members of the chamber executive team don't know it yet, and yet it very well might be offered through the chamber you'll get group rates, you just have to pay the $10 enrollment fee, which I rebate, by the way. There'll be a portal coming soon after the board meeting, and they approve it. Right? Thanks.
Thank you, Ari. Thank you very much. Okay.